don't. Why? Why is it locked? That's stupid. Shouldn't be locked. It's silly. I don't like this look. This ain't good. This ain't good. I don't like it. I don't like it. But, yeah. Here we are on the road. Here we are on the road. And we're making some progress. And I've been thinking. So, been checking out what happened over the weekend, and kind of, since it was my first foray out there. Thank you. Safe travels. Hi. I'm doing all right. Hanging in there. Hey, back. Hanging in. Voice is still pretty shot. Trying to lozenge it back to life. Not yelling today, so that's helping. Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking about how things went, and this is the beginning of whatever this channel is. Trying to figure out what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to say, how I'm trying to say it, what the ethos of this project is. Yeah, thank you. I hope I do too. You never know. But I have to say, once you get past Chicago and it gets all kind of straight and gritty, it's kind of it's a lot easier driving than almost anywhere else in the world. You just like keep the car on the road, pretty much. It's the widest lanes. It's huge. Yeah, like America. It's the roads. Even the roads have a big ass. But so do I. Nothing against big asses. I was always a fan of that Queen song, and I agree. But I agree very much. Been thinking about what this is, and looking at kind of what the interaction has been like, and what the chat looks like, and trying to match that up with what my goals are, with how I think, and what I want, the kind of experience I want to cultivate. Now, by saying that, you might think I'm actually headed in the opposite direction. Yes, I'm heading west to an old haunt of mine, Colorado. I used to live in Colorado. Going to Colorado. Yeah, because I'm crazy like a fox today. Yeah, so getting back to the subject at hand. I'm almost a First Amendment absolutist. Okay? I believe in the free, full exchange of ideas, in public discourse, in, people hitting the streets, their First Amendment rights, all of that. Now, I don't want to expose everybody in the chat to everything that comes along with that, because that's everything in the dark web. That's every, crazy, absolute, racist or genocidal belief. But regular political discourse, or even heated political discourse, I not only want to wave in, but I very much encourage. Because I don't think, personally, there's enough tough talk going on between people where they have honest differences of opinion, where they can work it out. I think most people are just out of practice. They're just not. As a society, we're out of practice of, confronting people in a civil way and exchanging ideas with people that we
in 2 miles
disagree with. Okay? And I want my channel to be that. To be where people can do that. And as you may have seen on the street, I use a kind of more confrontational style than some. I use every swear word and insult in the book when I think it fits. Because I believe, well, first off, if you're not using those words or you're afraid of those words, you're limiting your vocabulary. Some of my favorite authors use every swear, invent their own swears, like Shakespeare invented his own swears, James Joyce, Kurt Vonnegut swore it up, Heller, all the science fiction writers that I like that are worth a damn, so, and that's not LRH. So, I hereby decree that there will be no such moderation of the content in the chat
in half a mile.
Where it is somewhat or distractingly abusive. Over the line as far as terms of service or personal attacks that become dangerous. There will be other stipulations, but generally this is what the margins will be. I like to see the free.
Take exit 1.
I like salty talk. I think it's necessary if you want to get your point and get people's attention, like kind of mamby-pamby beating around the bush and hand-holding stuff. Sorry. Doesn't get the point across in a way where it needs to, maybe in a timely manner. So, are you going to explain to somebody, exactly how they need to hear it, right? And first address them properly.
Keep right at the 4.
Before you tell them that, a piano is going to drop on their head. Or are you going to say, motherfucker, watch out, there's a piano.
Continue on I.
It's my idea about it. When it comes to stuff like on the street, when it comes to safety, like when I'm trying to identify somebody with a gun, or when I'm trying to identify somebody that has it out for us, and somebody that is a danger to us, or if they have done something wrong to us and all of a sudden need, as far as I'm concerned, admonishment, then I deliver it with gusto and all due speed. And again, I think bullies are used to just preying on people's kindness. They're used to people just not wanting to be confrontational. People are afraid of confrontation. People are afraid of confrontation like they're afraid of public speaking. It's like a top 10 life fear, right? I don't think confrontation is in the top 10, top 5, but top 10. And bullies prey upon that. And they get away with a lot. And when a bully sees that they can't get away with their regular stuff and they're going to be called out, shamed, so that everybody else can see it immediately, and as soon as they do it, well, they check themselves a little bit, or at least check the scene to see if that person is around before they do it. And that's why I deploy those tactics as like bully off. And it works. In my experience, it works almost all the time. Almost all the time. Good evening to you. Thank you very much. I'm making a speech. So, So as of now, let the word go forth that there will be no such curtailing of speech on the chat in this channel or the comments. If I need something personally directed that way, I mean, you know, if the mods think something needs to be elevated to my attention so that I need to make a decision, let's do that. If, you know, later I need to go through the comments and you know, something that's really, you know, I don't like, well, it's my freaking channel. Sorry. You know, but that, you know, that can happen too. I mean, you know, maybe things need to change, you know, everything in moderation, including moderation. So, you know, I'm gonna, this decree itself can be modified, and it will be, I'm sure, as I learn and take on new information, on board new information, and go forward. But I think it should be clear after me demonstrating the way I do that the methods of limiting speech and limiting expression.
Welcome to Iowa.
And I think just for my whole life, I've been fighting against that. I've been fighting against it. I've been fighting against, you know, the niceties, having control over the free flow of ideas, the appearance and seemingness of discourse, holding sway over the power of ideas is just, it's a cancer. It's a cancer for intellectualism. It's mercury in the water supply, and I will not abide by that. I won't do it. Okay? I never have. I've lost friends. I've lost, you know, maybe some of the respective family members because I will not hold my, you know, my peace when I think I have something to say. And I won't say it in exactly the way you think you need to hear it. Because that's not how communication goes, right? You know, it's not like we all have to speak as though we've gone to a finishing school to be able to have discourse. And it's also how a lot of people get left out of the conversations. It's how, you know, people with certain, you know, mental conditions, with certain life experiences where the hard experiences of their life has made them such that they do not or do not naturally communicate in that way. And limiting their speech and identifying and having prejudice against their speech is prejudice against them, their damage, and how they wish to interact. And I just won't have it. I'm sorry. I've been in, you know, in group therapy with too many people with PTSD, which is now being refined as a diagnosis, but which is a really interesting conversation. But either way, too many to accept just the social niceties play. And I've been fighting for visibility for people with different ways of going about this stuff for most of my life. Also, I find people dehumanize people who appear differently this way, like, say, the homeless. So, like, you know, I met a few homeless people in the streets of Chicago there, you know, and it became clear immediately that nobody else around me, including the protesters, regarded them as human beings. It's because of how they present themselves, and maybe there's some danger or whatever, you know. I'm sorry. If you have true compassion, you're able to see the humanity in people and, like, get over your fear and know what your level of involvement is. You know, you can get in and out at any time, but I think people reflexively see people dressed a certain way, carry themselves a certain way, even if they're intoxicated. I want to deal with you like a person, because what I find, people most often will act more in accordance with how they are treated than not. And if you treat them as subhuman, well, that's what you're gonna get, okay? And somebody that's been treated like that on the street for, like, who knows how long, well, they might fucking resent that you know, and if you look at them like they're a human being and address them as such, like anybody else on the street, that's probably what you're going to get. Now, there are some crazy people who are dangerous out there. Okay, there are some thieves. There are a lot of drug addicts that, their free will has been fairly well removed by their desire to get their next fix. And you need to be on guard for that. But it's not an all or nothing proposition. I think that's just what most people are operating under. So this is what I aim in my life to eliminate socially, because I think it is also a cancer. And I can't believe so many people who call themselves Christians act in exactly this way. Exactly this way. And it's just crazy. So, that's kind of mainly what I wanted to say about these thoughts that I've been having after reviewing the tail of the tape a little bit. I started to make some shorts. Holy Moses! Like, the shorts, like, this is going to be fun. Because I found I had a lot of kind of up close and personal and maybe some kind of heated interactions with people that at least I find entertaining, and I think have some explanatory value as to the crux of the biscuit, to use a Zappa phrase, of what was going on. And I intend to do a lot more, because I spent way too much time in an IHOP making shorts and just laughing my ass off. It's just really fun. So I'm gonna be doing some more of that, and gonna be driving a bunch. Probably gonna stop here, I don't know, in a little bit and stretch and reform, and maybe at one of these big square state trucker stops, one of these long hauler trucker stops that are oh so big and fancy, and they got all the stuff. I need some road gear. There's a few pieces of gear that I need, so I know those are really well stocked, because basically, like, it's a one-stop shop for, like, the home that truckers are driving around with. It's their home for a little while, and some of them for a long while. I've got a lot of miles still. I'm getting where I'm going. I don't know if I'm going to get all the way there in one shot, since sun's already going down. Yeah, and I've got, I don't know, a little over 800 miles more. So, thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in this weekend. Thanks for being a part of this community. This community needs your attention, needs your support. Everybody here, and especially the survivors. This is what we're here for, is to amplify their message, because I believe their message is the best way to pry bar more and more people out, and to put them in the same category. And because we get more stories and more of these survivors start to come out, it's gonna grow exponentially. So it's what I'm here for. It's what I'm here for. I'm also gonna get to make some art. It's gonna be great. Looking forward. So Till next time, be well, be good, treat each other with love and kindness. I dig y'all. Peace.